tells security chiefs.
This administration's borrowing, therefore, is aimed at revamping our infrastructural deficit.
Information Minister clears air on Nigeria's domestic and external debt profile, says no cause for alarm. What is the prospect for technology-driven voting in Nigeria? Find out as Correspondents Review 2019. Hello and welcome to NTN Network News, live in Abuja. I am Joseph Johnson. Reading with me tonight is Jennifer Igwe in Lagos, while Abdullah Mohammed is in Kaduna. A crucial meeting of the National Security Council has ended in Abuja with a resolve by members to put an end to the menace of terrorism, insurgency and other heinous criminal activities in the country by the year 2020. Already, the council, chaired by President Muhammadu Buhari, has announced plans to begin tactical withdrawal of the nation's military from internal security operations. State House correspondent Adam Samba reports.
With President Muhammadu Buhari presiding, the National Security Council meeting, which lasted about 4 hours, was held behind closed doors. In attendance were the Minister of Defense, the National Security Advisor, Service Chiefs and the Inspector General of Police, Chief of Defense Intelligence, Director General of the Department of State Services and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Participants critically appraised Nigeria's security profile in the year 2019, with particular emphasis on the ongoing operations within the country and across the sub-region.
It was generally agreed and noted that the security agencies have done their very best in ensuring that the deliverables are made clear. Just 2 weeks back, we have had over 27 attacks by Boko Haram and ISWAP in the northeast alone. And our gallant troops out there were able to repel these attacks and even take out some of their commanders. It is our wish to have the insurgency and terrorism issues resolved once and for all, to enable us focus on matters of development.
At the meeting, President Muhammadu Buhari appreciated the military and other security services for the improved security situation across Nigeria, saying, however, that a lot still needs to be done towards guaranteeing sustainable peace and development.
Mr. President has directed that the Council and the members of armed forces ensure a peaceful society in 2020, and to that effect, we are more than determined to continue from where we stopped in 2019 and to ensure that we sustain our various operations to ensure a secure Nigeria for all of us.
Meanwhile, the National Security Council has resolved to ensure tactical withdrawal and replacement of the military with the Nigeria police personnel from internal security operations across the country.
For those areas that we believe the military has been able to achieve the desired objectives, that in the first quarter of next year, the civil authority will be preparing to take back those responsibilities as the military draws back on its forces in those areas to enable it focus its attention on other emerging threats and areas of concern. The nation is procuring equipment for the military. It therefore means that rather than have boots on ground, we're looking at technology-backed surveillance that will enable the military to react more efficiently and effectively. And with that, it is also believed that Nigerian police will take the lead in containing the security in such areas that must have been assessed to be in their right place to sustain.
The National Security Council meeting was the last for the year 2019. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The federal government has cleared the air over certain concerns over the nation's debt profile, with the assurances that there is no cause for alarm, as is being insinuated. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed gave the assurance at a media briefing in Lagos. Anthony Fulson reports.
We have called this press conference to enable us.
In what turned out to be a federal government scorecard for the year ending 2019, the Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, brought to the fore major achievements of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration in the year under review, starting by laying the cards on the table with regards to certain concerns about the country's debt profile, which he said is a cumulative borrowing by successive administrations over many years. Therefore, with the quest to provide infrastructure, borrowing, he said, has become inevitable.
In the face of massive infrastructural decay, no responsible government will sit by and do nothing. This administration's borrowing, therefore, is aimed at revamping our infrastructural deficit, including roads, bridges, railways, waterways, and power, to help unleash the potential of the nation's economy. The loans for the educational sector will contribute to the development of our human capital, while the loans for the agricultural sector will help the move to diversify the economy.
On the economy, Lai Mohammed said 2019 saw an improvement as the economy grew at an average of 2.2% by the third quarter of 2019, compared to 1.7% over same period in 2018. The oil and non-oil sectors performed creditably in 2019, growing at an average of 4% compared to 2.4% in 2018. Oil production experienced an average daily rise in 3 years, recording a 2 million barrels per day production. There was a steady trend on inflation as year-on-year headline declined from 15.1% in 2018 to 11.9% by November 2019. Core inflation on its part slowed from 12.1% to 9% between January 2018 and November 2019.
Year-on-year food inflation rate decreased from 18.9% in January 2018 to 14.5% in November 2019.
Foreign trade performance in the external sector suggests an increase in diversification of exports. By this token, import value stood at $11.6 trillion compared to $9.6 trillion in 2018. Export value stood at $14.4 trillion against $14 trillion in 2018.
Key exports of note. While the value of crude oil exports decreased by 3.78%, non-crude exports rose by over 30% in value between 2018 and 2019. Non-oil exports also doubled from about 1 trillion naira to 2 trillion naira over this period.
On fiscal performance, revenue shortfalls were recorded, but prioritization of expenditure led to a high performance. Breaking down the total aggregate revenue position put at 2 trillion naira or 58% of pro rata target, the minister explained that all revenue hit 49% performance. Company income tax stood at 349 billion naira, value added tax 81 billion naira, and customs collection 184 billion naira. Capital importation, as it concerns direct foreign investment, got close to $20 billion, which is 34% higher than $15 billion recorded in third quarter of 2018. Apart from banking and shares, the minister said major sectors that witnessed high volume of capital inflow in the year under review are telecommunications, production, and services. In Lagos, Anthony Fossen, NTA News.
Poverty as a consequence of unemployment has assumed a worrisome dimension in Nigeria as governments continue to find ways of mitigating the problem. This is in line with President Buhari's plan to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. But what role can a strategic agency like the National Directorate of Employment play in achieving the objective? Kelvin Ebonoahe checks it out from here.
To be poor is to have little or no access to shelter, food, and other necessities of life. In Nigeria, around 87 million of the nation's estimated 200 million population, representing about 31.1%, fall within this category of what the World Bank described as living below poverty line of $1.90 per day. This figure is expected to rise by 2030, with more young Nigerians joining the unemployment market on a yearly basis. This reality is what bothers President Muhammadu Buhari, setting the target of 10 years to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. The shortest route to achieving this, observers say, is through investment in agriculture.
The poultry industry alone, that subsector of the livestock industry, is capable of creating jobs in very significant numbers.
The National Directorate of Employment, NDE, is expected to play a key role in achieving President Muhammadu Buhari's agenda on reducing poverty among Nigerians.
In terms of what we are doing to ensure that the promise made by Mr. President to take 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years, there is a program we come up with where we go deep into the rural areas, give them direct cash backing. So if you look at it, averagely 5,000 per state, it will give you a figure of 185,000. You multiply that by year, you multiply that by 10 years. You'll see that even from MIS alone, the millions of Nigerians that are going to benefit from this.
Abdul Sado and Sadiat Bala, although not university graduates, they are among the 100 million Nigerians in the president's plan. Their own journey out of poverty has started at the NDE Skills and Vocational Training Center in Buhari, Abuja.
And click on it. Then all the pictures that I copied from the photography folder are now pasted on my new folder. I will open and they will.
I intend to go into catering fully, especially events management.
Beyond equipping young Nigerians with the training to be self-reliant, government may also have to look at the direction of modifying NDE's focus by supporting artisans who already have businesses to expand in order to create jobs for others.
For a lady that has a shop where she makes hair or where they sew or something, let them go and interview such people. That person might need some training. Train such a person and give a loan that is repayable after maybe, let's say, 5 years. And as she's expanding, under that 5 years between she has to pay the money back, might be able to employ between 5 and 10 people. So that's how in the Western world middle class is created.
Like the president said, the plan may appear bogus to many. With the support of all ministries and agencies handling poverty alleviation programs, the plan is achievable to build a country that cares for all. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewunoye, NTA News.
To address the challenges of humanitarian crisis, disaster management and social protection for the most vulnerable in the country, President Muhammadu Buhari established a federal ministry at the beginning of his second term in office. 4 months after the establishment of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, how has it fared? Ruth Agwele has a review.
With that oath of allegiance, Sadia Umar Farouk made history as the first person to be Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, having been the commissioner in charge of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. Before her elevation, the new minister knew what the ministry has to face, and therefore started with seeking partnerships and support from masters of the game. The United Nations, with a retreat to meet strategic timelines for a sustainable coordination, coherence and collaboration.
Presently, the ministry is developing its internal structure based on international best practices and considering available technical expertise you have to offer.
Wherein the government is putting in place an institutional framework to take care of the issues of humanitarian concerns.
To strengthen ongoing partnerships for the prevention, mitigation and response of humanitarian disasters, the ministry also engaged other stakeholders to enhance humanitarian assistance for Nigeria.
We wanted to learn more about what the new ministry is doing because we have a lot of investment in humanitarian operations in Nigeria.
Working visit to Niamey, Niger Republic, followed suit to share ideas and experiences with the country's Ministry of Humanitarian Action and Disaster Management to build stronger ties between both countries. Back home, the ministry embarked on sensitization work to mark the International Day of Poverty for the year 2019.
To call on all well-meaning Nigerians to come together for us to see how we can eradicate this menace called poverty.
If we put women in the center of all our programs, then we are truly addressing poverty.
Reaching out to Borough community in the FCT to actualize the theme, acting together to empower children, families and communities to overcome poverty. A parliament was also inaugurated for people living with disabilities when the world marked the International Day for persons living with disability.
Probably from 2020, we'll need to start galvanizing the voice of people with disability across the region to understand what are the real issues.
Issues with the Empower program was also resolved as beneficiaries whose payment was delayed sought the intervention of the ministry, and within few weeks they were paid. Few months of its existence, agencies and most importantly, people whose interest the ministry was established to protect are happy, and their hopes of a better life raised more than in the past as they look forward to 2020 and beyond. In Abuja, Ruth Aguale, NTN News.
Well, to stay with us here on NTN Network News, let's just take some messages. We will be right back.
Wishing you a Merry Christmas, Nigeria. Glow Unlimited.
This is a special congratulatory message to our Huba professors. On behalf of the Huba people of Adamawa State, I congratulate all Huba sons and daughters elevated to the rank of professor in 2018-2019. You are all shining beacons for the Huba people, worthy examples to our youths and invaluable contributors to the development of the nation and humanity. We remain proud of your enviable achievements. Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Announcer.
It is another morning, not just an ordinary time. Start of a new day. A new beginning. As you prepare everyone for the long day ahead, just anything is not enough. It is only you who makes breakfast special. You make them creamy. You make them tasty. You add vitamins and nutrients we need for a delightful, healthy start to the day.
So start your day right with Hollandia Evap.
Hollandia Evap. Life tastes different. Hollandia.
Season's greetings from the Federal Road Safety Commission.
The Federal Road Safety Corps appreciates all road users and all other stakeholders for your cooperation in year 2019.
We believe road crashes are preventable, and our desire is to see reduced cases of road traffic crashes.
Your life is precious to your family.
This is a season of joy. Do not bring sorrows to your family.
Road traffic injuries will cost you and your family emotional and financial strain.
Obey all traffic rules. The personnel of the Corps are on the roads to enforce compliance.
Be patient, be awake, be sober on the road.
Together, we must work to put in place measures to keep road safety on the agenda.
Stay alert, stay alive.
Wishing you a safe and prosperous year ahead.
Season's greetings to our road user partners.
The Corps wishes you happy celebration and safe travels.
The Federal Road Safety Commission is committed to creating a safer motoring environment.
What's football without banter? We love banter. All kinds of banter. Like the banter from a safe distance.
We go beat in a later.
There's the "this is still my house" banter.
Dad, 4-0 isn't so bad.
It's not as bad as 0-0.
I know you're only calling to banter.
It's just some
bad belly banter.
Your team can't even score an own goal.
Dry banter.
I beg, take Joe. This is the only cup your team will be winning this season.
And then there's that. Better banter. Whatever the banter better with Coca-Cola, the official soft drink partner of the English Premier League.
This is beautiful.
Quality is vital. Quality is Vitafoam.
Hello, honey.
Hey, baby.
Wow. Those guys are good in bed.
What?
Yes, we're good in bed. Hurry now to any Vitafoam accredited dealer nationwide or visit us online on www.vitafoamng.com to place your order today. Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Glad to have you back. And now let's turn our attention to electoral matters. INEC was really in the eyes of the prying public in the year 2019. And Mayor Gidi reflects on some central issues that shaped their commission.
2019 was indeed a defining year of political wit and arithmetics. It was also a year where dancing was used as political diplomacy. Campaigns were also based on issues. After 3 months of intensive presidential campaigns by the leading political parties, PDP and APC, the electorate went to bed, hoping to wake up in 5 hours' time to vote on the 16th of February 2019. But it wasn't easy for INEC, so the elections were postponed. A postponement that took away the usual smiles of the INEC chairman.
Following a careful review, the Commission came to the conclusion that proceeding with the election as scheduled is no longer feasible.
There was outrage.
The labor pay continues, but we will not give up. INEC should have been honest and upfront about his logistics issues.
But this statement came rising nerves.
We regret any inconvenience our decision might have caused.
Then Nigerians went on the rescheduled presidential poll, and this was the moment all waited.
Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressives Congress, having satisfied the requirements of the law and scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared winner and is returned elected. Thank
you. Months later, the political climate melted and settled in Kogi and Bayelsa states for the governorship elections, and it was 2-2 for the APC.
Of APC.
Thank you.
Besides these major elections, INEC conducted many by-elections, and there is really need for electoral reform, the INEC chairman insists.
We are glad that the electoral legal framework is removing some of the encumbrances to the full deployment of technology for the improvement of the electoral process in Nigeria.
The year 2019 will go down in history in Zamfara State. A year of political hurricane that swept away an entire political structure, giving power to the opposition at the state level. 2019 was a bumpy year for INEC, and there are spillovers to January 2020 because 28 court-ordered elections will be conducted on the 25th of January 2020. New year with new elections as well. 2 governorship elections, Ondo and Edo states. So, another busy year lies ahead of INEC. Mayor Ogede, NTA News.
And consequences of electoral malpractices before, during and after elections in the country have kept the people and government of Nigeria on their toes, seeking pragmatic means of achieving credible elections devoid of violence. In this report, Kenneth Nanim brings us up to speed with the thought of some Nigerians on digital voting as a panacea for achieving credible elections.
Elections in third world countries, including Nigeria, are mostly conducted manually and often characterized by inadequacies such as malpractices and violence before, during and after, which in some cases result to loss of lives and property. The credibility of the outcome of these elections most times are also questioned, warranting political parties or their candidates to seek redress at the election tribunals. One of such cases is that of Representative Samson Oku from Benue State, who has contested the seat for Ojobi Federal Constituency 3 times, and in all occasions, the court was the final determiner of the poll.
In line with the Electoral Act 2010 as amendment, that the tribunal has the power to collect that of Obi result and add the same to Oju and declare the lawful majority winner of that election. And when they added, I became the lawful winner of that election.
Blessing Benjamin Ali is from Kogi State and a graduate of mass communication. She did not vote in the last governorship election of her state, not because she doesn't want to, but she's been deterred by prevalent violence during elections.
Just because I want to perform my civic rights doesn't mean I have to lose my life. That is why I didn't go to vote.
The electoral umpire in Nigeria, the Independent National Electoral Commission, is worried and wants the narrative to change.
The Commission will work with the National Assembly for the expeditious passage of the amendments to the electoral legal framework. We are excited by some of the new provisions concerning electronic transmission of results.
There are, however, different views about this. While some say it could be the solution, others believe the country is not ripe for such.
This is a digital age. Every of our things should go digital.
It will reduce cost. 2, it will reduce electoral violence. It will also reduce electoral manipulation.
The electronic voting is okay, but the factor, the Nigerian factor, are we going to keep by it? What about our terrains that networks are not available? Will the electronic system take care of that?
So if we try to use it, well, like people will buy, will hack it, and we will still come back again and cry that, oh, this system is not good. First and foremost, Nigeria needs to orientate themselves.
And a lot of sensitization need to be done. What about my own grandmother, who doesn't know how to operate common handset? How will she or my grandfather vote digitally?
With advancing technology and the growing need for easy, credible and effective means of conducting election, digital voting may not be far away, especially as they clamor for diaspora voting to enable millions of Nigerians outside the country to have a say in who governs the country increases by day. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Well, we'll talk more on conducting election, but this time let's take you to Guinea-Bissau, because just a few hours from the run-off of presidential election in Guinea-Bissau, ECOWAS Election Observation Mission has declared that the conduct was generally peaceful. Now, Musbao Danwahab is joining us from Bissau. Musbao, what would you say the situation is at the moment?
Thanks a lot for joining us at this time. The situation remains calm in Bissau, the national capital of Guinea-Bissau. Activities are back on in the city and people are back to their various businesses just a few hours after the second round of the 2019 presidential election. Meanwhile, various heads of election observation missions, particularly that of ECOWAS and African Union, have been meeting to compare notes after the election, and observers deployed across the country by ECOWAS are back in Bissau. And now the election observation mission of ECOWAS has given its preliminary observation about the election. Here's a bit of it. The ECOWAS election observation mission urges the two candidates in particular, as well as their political parties and supporters, to accept the verdict of the ballot boxes, and encourages them to graciously accept the will of the people, and in the event of complaints, to resort exclusively to legal means to request reparation. The mission also invites ECOWAS and the international community to accept the elected candidates and members of government to ensure continuous engagement with political actors through dialogue and mediation for peace building in Guinea-Bissau. So all fingers remain crossed as people are anxiously waiting to know what will be the outcome of the Sunday election and who is going to be the next president of Guinea-Bissau. The National Electoral Commission is expected to give the announcement in just a few days to come.
Thank you, Musbao, and we will be following that story for you, so just stay with us here. Of course, let's get to talk about health, because 2 persons have been confirmed dead while 2 others are responding to Lassa fever treatment at the Southeast Virology Center in Ebonyi State. Chinaza John reports that the state's government has shut down the missionary hospital where the outbreak emanated from to check further spread of the disease.
The first victim died on the 22nd of December. While the second victim, a pregnant woman, died after 6 days. The first victim and his sibling were reportedly admitted at the hospital as a result of high fever. The death of one of them aroused the suspicion of Lassa and immediately referred to the Virology Center in Abakaliki, where the case was confirmed. This development led to the immediate closure of the health facility by the state government, while all the staff, patients and close relatives of the deceased quarantined.
Actually, the situation is under control. Immediately the case was reported, our governor, in his usual manner, ordered for immediate proactive action. And that was why he said, we'll close down activities at Service Hospital so that we completely decontaminate the hospital.
Apart from the closure of the hospital, disease surveillance notification officers have been positioned in all the 13 local government areas of the state for prompt response.
There's no reason why we should lose any patient to Lassa fever in Ebonyi now, because we have the capacity, we have the virology center, and the treatment is free.
Lassa fever is not a death sentence if discovered on time. Therefore, people are advised to report all symptoms of fever to the appropriate quarters for adequate treatment. In Abakaliki, Chinaza John, NTA News.
Road travelers have applauded relevant government agencies for the smooth traffic situation in Kogi State during the Yuletide, a situation that is unprecedented, especially during festivals. Jacob Sani reports.
Better known as a lone state, with borders to 9 other states and the Federal Capital Territory, once upon a time, traffic congestion and log jams were quite a common phenomenon in this part, and even worse during festivities, but not so this time around.
Those governments are doing their job, so I love it. Let them keep the feet.
We thank God this year. This year is okay. We thank God to do this year.
The traffic is flowing fine.
The huge deployment of officers by the Federal Road Safety Corps is consistent with its practice during festivities and with the support of other security personnel. The results are quite significant.
Show them that overspeeding, overloading, reckless driving on the highway
With an area of 11,519 square meters and a distance of 29,833 square kilometers, the entire road network, including federal highways and the state intersection, received remediation in preparation for the season. With the end of the nightmares of spending days on the highway and the absence of long queues of vehicles and frustrated commuters, it is, however, bad business for hawkers and shop owners who previously thrived on the traffic build-up as a business in disguise. In Lokoja, Jacob Sani, NT News.
We're talking security. The FCT Police Command has refuted the misleading message circulated on the social media claiming that kidnappers killed 4 persons in Kuje Area Council. In a statement signed by the Deputy Police Public Relations Officer, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Mariam Yusuf, the command has since arrested 2 suspected armed robbers at the area. The police operations attached to Peggy Division were instantly deployed to the scene where they apprehended the 2 suspects and disarmed them. Unfortunately, 2 victims of the robbery were killed following deep machete wounds inflicted on them by the suspects. Efforts are in place to arrest one of the fleeing suspects. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police has launched a discreet investigation into the incident. While commiserating with the families of the deceased, the command urges residents to remain calm and reiterates its commitment to the protection of lives and property within the Federal Capital Territory. We now join Jennifer in Lagos for more reports. Jennifer, compliments of the season.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you for joining us in Lagos and season's greetings. Now, Lagos, with an estimated population of about 21 million, recorded about 1,391 major disasters in year 2019, with road accidents top on the casualty list. In this special report, Michael Olaleye takes a look at disaster and its management in 2019.
Between January to December 2019, about 1,061 incidents of fire outbreak were recorded, 15 building collapse, while 315 cases of road crashes were recorded.
The states experience more emergency and more disaster in 2019 when you compare to 2018.
Whether natural or man-made, disaster is a global phenomenon, and experts believe that swift response is key when such occurs.
Quick response is key to ensuring that we save lives and properties.
In the year under review, right-of-way to emergency scenes was identified as impediments to rescue operations.
When we are going to the scene of emergency, they will start attacking our men.
How then can this be addressed?
Changing the people orientation is the key.
We are also going to introduce technology. Our officers are out there monitoring, and we hope to be able to use drones to actually capture a few of these structures.
Some respondents did not hide their feelings as they commend the quick response to distress calls, although some share a different view.
Most times our responses to various occurrences, have been very, very slow.
For me, the response have been quite okay.
School that fell on the island, you can see the response was quite swift and it was immediate.
It is expected that with adequate training of personnel and public enlightenment campaign on necessary steps to take during disasters, the rate of casualties will reduce in the year 2020. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NT News.
Away from disaster management, religious tolerance, piety, and giving in the way of Allah have been identified as ways of ensuring an enduring society. These were the views of Islamic clerics at the inauguration of Oriwu Central Mosque in the Ikorodu area of Lagos. Awal Yusuf Jibo reports.
The act of Sadaqatul Jariyah in Islam means ongoing charity with endless rewards received by those who engage in the practice. Clerics at this gathering informed that the benefits of Sadaqatul Jariyah are not limited to this life, but also reaped in the hereafter. To be among benefactors of these bounties from Allah, Muslim faithful came together and contributed their quota to ensure the completion of Oriwu Central Mosque in Ikorodu area of Lagos.
Our religious fathers, are we allowing the young ones to come up? Because we can build all the roads, all the schools. If our children don't have that knowledge of Islam or Christianity, they are Christians, then I think everything is wasted.
For every one of us, we're so glad that this building has been commissioned in our lifetime, 30 years on, and we just also hope that as even the governor of Lagos State said here today, we should extend leadership, morality to our youth.
Other Islamic scholars expressed delight on the commissioning of the mosque while commending the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for his immense support. They urged Muslim faithful to continue to strive in the way of Allah.
If you see the magnitude, if you see the architectural piece, you know that Ikorodu will have masterpiece. And it shows that Ikorodu is so religious.
Nigerians were admonished to shun negativities of division and nurture the bonds of brotherhood as a way of ensuring sustainable development in the country. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
Thank you, Awal. This is NTA Network News. More reports after the break. Stay with us.
So, you now want to pick my call?
Then bomb me where? Mommy of life. Try now, mommy.
Where my car?
Mommy, now smart things remain.
If my car not ready for tomorrow, me and you go put leg inside one trouser. One lie.
Lost my phone. Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Look at this phone. All right. Yes, ma.
Hey, Majekini. Mommy, no be you. Don't waste your credit. When I finish, I go call.
You call me. Me wear my middle name na credit. Where Glow they give me boku.
Glow and Mebo. Get 5 times your recharge to call all networks. Recharge with *555* PIN hash.
Just talk people. I beg, give me my phone, make I go, Joe.
Talon sa taku yen.
What we are really cultivating here is a better future for all Nigerian women, and it's not always easy. Panadol Extra relieves headache, backache, joint pain, toothache, and menstrual pain. The pain is worth it.
Welcome to your online ballroom dance lesson.
Nobody's perfect, but some are unstoppable.
Yeah, I'm unstoppable.
Power Horse, unstoppable you.
Enjoy up to 20% off prices in the Airtel Home Broadband Yuletide promo. Get an Airtel router for just 19,999 naira and the Airtel MiFi for just 9,999 naira. Promo lasts till January 2020. Visit any Airtel shop or dealer outlets for this amazing offer. More data, more you. Reliable home broadband by Airtel, the smartphone network.
Expressions without words won't have it any other way. Moments will feel joy. Been lost in the moment, the freedom you will find. That's what's celebrating. Bring your moment to life. Find your satisfaction in the nourishing trend and sparkling. Celebrate and lead to it, making big differences. In the nourishing trend and sparkling.
Enjoy in red grape, white grape, peach variants, the Letter Sparkling Fruit Drink. Celebrate every moment.
What we are really cultivating here is a better future for all Nigerian women, and it's not always easy. Panadol Extra relieves headache, backache, joint pain, toothache, and menstrual pain. The pain is worth it.
We have come to the end of another successful year, and we wish to appreciate all those that mean so much to us. Our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, and above all, you, our esteemed viewer. Together, we made 2019 great. Together, we shall make 2020 even greater. That is why we say, thank you. This is wishing you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
You're still watching NTN Network News, and we are back in Abuja. Let's talk business, and I have right here Muplang Dakok. Muplang, it's all yours.
Thank you, Joseph. On business news tonight, the Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS has offered a 30-day window to enable taxpayers obtain tax clearance certificate (TCC). The executive chairman of the commission, Mohammed Nami, in a notice to taxpayers warned that FIRS will not fail to invoke the provisions of the law, including enforcement and imposition of licenses. He said the service has taken steps to ease the process of obtaining TCC and has put in place machinery to issue 2020 TCC for all eligible taxpayers from 2nd January to 31st January 2020. And in the wake of the decision of 8 French-speaking West African countries to adopt the ECO as sub-regional currency, President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana, in a statement, has urged other member states to speed up the process of implementing the decisions of the authorities of ECOWAS. The decisions include adopting a flexing exchange rate regime, instituting the framework for the ECOWAS Central Bank, and ensuring that ECOWAS member states achieve the single currency objective. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Ministry of Finance says it has received the news of the change of name of the CFA to ECO as the single currency for ECOWAS and is studying the situation and would respond in due course. And on the capital market, transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange opened this week positive. The markets recorded pluses. Investors gained 93.10 billion naira as the NSE All-Share Index inched up by 0.76% as they await 2020. The All-Share Index and market capitalization appreciated by 0.73% to close at 26,609.34 points. Market breadth closed positive as Seplat led 23 gainers as against 12 losers, topped by Union Bank at the end of the day's session. Transcorp, Guarantee and Access Bank were the most active to boost market turnover. And that's it on business news. At this time, we now go over to our Kaduna Network Center, where Abdullahi Mohammed is there to take it from here.
Thank you, Moplan. We'll begin with a story from Kano. Transport sector has significantly improved the economic fortunes of Kano State as a result of movement of goods and passengers occasioned by availability of premium motor spirit in all fuel stations across the state. Motorists have unhindered access to the commodity, which forced down transport fare. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that President Muhammadu Buhari is receiving accolade for breaking the jinx.
Such was the scenario at the ever-busy Ngwa Motor Park in the heart of the metropolis. It was a mass exodus of passengers moving to different parts of this country. Some years back, it was unthinkable to board a commercial vehicle with ease in this place because most of the vehicles were on long queues in filling stations. Passengers and motorists are happy with current fuel situation under the Buhari administration.
There's no anything like political state at all.
They have to give kudos to NNPC and the government in general, the federal government. They really planned it and it worked.
The stability of the chain in supply and the other issues to do with control and availability. The cost of transport fare is even supposed to come down, even though the demand for people to travel out during the Unitide as usual is high.
Nigerians believe that with the commitment of the present administration, hardship being experienced years back will be a history. Muhammad Rabiu Ali.
I'm from Kano to Katsina, where Governor Aminu Bello Masari has inaugurated a radio communication center, a 36-bed space hostel and clinic worth 145 million naira in Daura to enhance security. Awal Halil reports on the inauguration ceremony and the facilities.
Facilities are provided to assist in addressing the lingering security challenges bedeviling Katsina State in particular and the nation in general. Similarly, they are to enable operational coordination between the 7 major service control posts in the state and the higher command. Governor Aminu Bello Masari, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the state while inaugurating the facilities, said they would assist immensely in the fight against banditry and related offences.
The security of citizens' lives and property is a constitutional right of every citizen. Therefore, no responsible government play with the issue of security.
The Controller General, Nigerian Immigration Service, Mohammed Babadede, represented by the Deputy Controller General, Idris Jere, highlighted the importance of the current border drill policy by the federal government.
Forward operational base was crafted to address the numerous challenges confronting our borders, such as smuggling of migrants, trafficking in persons, and the menace of cross-border banditry.
The forward operational base is expected to serve other security outfits in the state. Awal Haliru, NTA News.
Many thanks, Awal Haliru from Katsina there. And it's now time for another short break. The news continues shortly. Don't go away.
As Nigerians count down to 2020, games of 2019 in focus plus projections on NTA Tuesday Live this week. The program at 10:30 p.m. promises to be incisive and informative. Don't miss it.
This na how we dey show for holiday. This na how e dey be when you don tey you block male. This one pass decoder. This na your family groove. Totori your family this season. Go sharply arrange Go TV decoder and Go Tenor wey carry 1 month Go TV Max subscription follow body for only 6,900 naira. Go TV. Live it, love it.
They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes, and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, fearless, loyal, and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem with pride to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
It is indeed befitting to honor the memory of the gallant hearts and men who paid the supreme sacrifice to keep the country united.
President Muhammadu Buhari enjoins all ministries, parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to these accounts. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. EcoBank Nigeria PLC.
The outgoing year continues on Sports Update with Kene Ima Abotike.